Hello, and after several weeks I'm back with another video from my series Quick Thoughts On, dedicated to a new episode of Star Trek Discovery. Yes, it's back. After a month and a half long break, the show continued with episode 10 called Despite Yourself. I have just seen it and these are my non-spoiler thoughts about it. As I said many times before, these videos will be quick and with almost no spoilers, because I plan to do a more detailed review of the show after we will see all of the episodes. The first thing I want to say is that this episode is directed by Mr. Jonathan Frakes. In the case you are not familiar with his directorial work, he is the type of a director who can take a great script and turn it into a great episode, or he can take a crappy script and turn it into a good episode. After seeing the previous 9 episodes, I have drastically lowered my expectations and I have basically lost all hope that this series will be anything else than some explosions and references to previous tracks. But I must admit that in this story they at least tried to make some allegory. The allegory is a direct opposite of subtle, but at least there is something going on. I'm pretty sure that the American liberals will think that this is an allegory for Trump's America, or what they believe is Trump's America. As I said, while the writing on this episode is anything but subtle, at least Jonathan Frakes has done a pretty good job as the director. The story continues where the last episode ended. They are in an alternate universe, and it's probably the same universe as the one from the classic Star Trek episode Mirror, Mirror. And it looks like we are going to be in this universe for a long time, maybe even until the end of season 1. I have to personally thank 2 people coming up with crazy fan theories. There were 2 which I really liked. The first one was about the Mirror universe, basically saying that the first episodes were in the Mirror universe and now they got into our universe, but I don't think that it's correct, even though it would correct 99% of the problems people have with this show. The second fan theory is about Lieutenant Ash Tyler, and I have to say that it is correct. I won't tell you what this theory is in the case that you don't know, but I must admit that even if I didn't like it when I heard it for the first time, now I absolutely love it. Who would ever think that Tyler will be the most interesting character in the series? I mean, to me, he is the main character of the show, not Michael Burnham. So, hooray, finally somebody who is not a 2-dimensional caricature of a person, but a fully developed and interesting human being or person, or however I should call him. I don't want to go into any plot details, but I have to say one thing. There is a death scene, and it was really surprising to me. I honestly didn't expect that. But was it really a death scene? We did have several characters which had a death scene on the show before. For example, the female admiral, and she came back to the show, so who knows? I have one serious problem with the writing, the way how they obtain information in this episode. I don't like comparing episodes, but this time I have to. If you have seen the original series episode Mirror, Mirror, you know that that episode used the show don't tell approach. This episode, however, tells us everything we need to know about this universe. Not only is it a less interesting way of delivering exposition to the audience, I also think that if this was my first encounter with the Mirror universe and I haven't seen all of the previous episodes in the previous TV shows, I would maybe not be fully understanding of the full rules on which the Terran Empire works. Anyway, this episode was a very pleasant surprise. I must admit that I cared what's going on during the whole episode, which is much more than I can say about most of the previous episodes. The writing was just okay, nothing really great or nothing really bad, except one complaint which I already mentioned. Great directing, great acting, the CGI is pretty good most of the time, except for one fully CGI scene, which which honestly looks like from some video game. I'm not really sure what happened there, but it looks really fake. The effects were the only thing which I couldn't complain about in STD, so this was an unpleasant surprise. Overall, this is one of the better Discovery episodes, and after seeing it, I would give this episode 8 out of 10. And I'm really curious to see how my rating and opinions will change when I watch this episode for a proper video. But as always, those were just my opinions. Let me know, what do you think about this episode? Did you love it, hate it, or do you think it's average? Also, what do you think about Discovery so far? I personally think that it's an above average generic sci-fi show and at the same time a horrible Star Trek show, if that makes any sense. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, and if you have some free time, check any other videos on my channel. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye.